good to be back in the room, doing some content for you. We have something new. We have a new Subbuteo book. I have it right here. Best bit about it, not even out yet. I've kindly been sent a preview copy so I can read it and let you all know whether it's worth buying. First impressions, because I've already opened it, it is. Let's start, get to the bottom of it. We are talking about Land of the Giants, my journey through the world of table football. You might remember the Finger Flicking Good podcast, brilliant podcast by a guy called Derek Eyre, absolutely fantastic. Well, he was asked by Pitch Publishing to write a book about Subbuteo and the world, and this is his experience crossing all the different things from playing to collecting. Comes out June 23rd or June 26th, one of the two, I can't quite remember. Derek, thank you so much. Pitch Publishing, thank you so much. It's always a joy to get things sent to you to review them. I've had a quick breeze through. I've not started reading it yet. I've seen my name in there. That feels good as it is. Derek, thank you so much. And I must say, I'm just going to throw this as well. Derek, I hope you're recovering well, man. I know you haven't been well recently. All the best. Hope for a speedy recovery, man. So before I go off and read it, let's read the blurb, because I think that's what you do on book reviews. I've never really done a proper book review. I've done reviews of the Subbuteo books, the catalogues and stuff like that. This is the first. So, what is this actually about? When the COVID-19 lockdown hit in March 2020, millions of people suddenly found themselves confined to their homes with their lives on hold as the planet fought a deadly pandemic. Sounds a bit like a thriller at the moment. Land of the Giants, my journey through the world of table football, chronicles the author's discovery of a vibrant Subbuteo subculture and the emergence of an online community that was determined to keep alive a game under threat. Over a period of 3 years, Derek Eyre met and interviewed dozens of those dedicated to the game. This book tells their stories. People who scour charity shops, collectors' fairs and online auction sites in search of that rarity they hope will complete their collections. The players who take the game so seriously that they train as hard for a competition as their 11-a-side counterparts. The artists who paint the figures and bring to life great teams, past and present, for those that recreate famous stadia at scale. Land of the Giants is a love letter to an old-fashioned favourite, a much-loved game, and one that simply refuses to die. I am sold. I am in. Forward by Michael Bradley of The Undertones. We all know The Undertones are famous for, right?
He always beat me at Subbuteo, cause he flicked a kick and I didn't know. Oh, my perfect cousin.
I'll tell you what else as well, before I do go off and read this. Love this artwork. Based on the film Land of the Giants, the Subbuteo figure in it as well. That is cool. Right, enough of that. I need to tell you what this book's about and whether it's worth buying. But before I do that, I need to go and read it. So, bear with me. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to read this book. I'm not a fast reader, but I'll be right back. I ain't gonna sit and read it or make you watch me. Let's skip to the good bit. Let's skip a few days and let's tell you what this is all about. Whew. Okay, I've finished. I've read it. To be honest, that took way too long. I'm a slow reader, but life generally gets in the way as well because kids, family, work, everything's been bonkers. But I've had a read. Let's review it. Let's tell you why you should buy this book. Should you buy this book? If only you guys could see what actually gets cut out of these videos. But don't worry about that. So should you buy this book? Yes, you should. If you want to know about our world, and I suppose it's not just our world. I've said this before. Our community, we think our community is massive. It's not, it's tiny. But this gives you an insight into the Subbuteo collecting world. And I'll go broader. It's probably not just the Subbuteo collecting world. It's probably the entire collecting world. Whether you're collecting panini stickers, football shirts, retro video games, it's probably all the same. Everyone thinks their community is bigger than it is. And this does give you an inkling. It talks about the collectors. It talks about the players. It talks about the organisations. It talks about the painters, the stadium builders, everything. And Derek does go into detail to talk about his journey into it and how he views it. Maybe there's a little bit too much of Derek's opinion in it. But at the end of the day, his prerogative, his book, his opportunity, his voice to say what he likes. So fair play, he's allowed to voice his opinion. Let's get into it. I'm taking some notes because I wanted to do this properly. So, for starters, the book starts off talking about how all collectors are similar, no matter what you're collecting. Derek, pretty much in every chapter, no matter who he talks to, realises that everyone that's in Subbuteo has exactly the same backstory. And I'm not going to ruin too much by going into that. But yeah, we all have the same backstory. Interesting. There's a great historical piece in there I thought was good. Derek doesn't really talk about Subbuteo and the history of it or anything like that. The book's not about it. But he does talk about Charles Staddon, who designed the 00... I don't know Subbuteo figures with me, but the classic heavyweight figure from the 70s, 60s, 70s figure. Charles Staddon, who designed that, the ambulance people, all them classic figures. Good bit about that, because there's not a lot of history about that. That's a really interesting part of the book. There's a bit about the people that kept the game alive during what people call the dark ages of Subbuteo. There's a really good interview with Pete from Subbuteo World, well worth a read. In that section, Pete actually alludes to what I've just said, how we think we've got a massive community, but we haven't. It's very small, very niche. He hits the nail right on the head with that. So something to definitely read. You'll enjoy that bit. There's a fantastic bit where Martin goes to Derry and ends up in the shed with the Subbuteo show boys. Well worth a read. Good times. Fantastic. One day I'm coming out to Derry, boys. Watch this. I'm coming out there. But that's really good. Anytime you talk to them guys, they talk really sensibly about the game and the collecting, their opinions of it. They never hold back. They talk about the organisation, how they got started in the clubs, how they enjoy playing, why they play. It's always good to talk about people with opinions, right? In fact, you know what the best bit of the whole book is? It doesn't mention Table Football Monthly. Do you remember that show? Remember it? Keith someone. Nah, dunno. Long gone. Couldn't stand the test of time. Best part of the whole book. Well done, Derek. It does. If I'm doing the whole sort of negative sandwich or shit sandwich, as I always like to call it, you've got to review things properly. I think it talks down about competitive players a lot, and it doesn't really talk well in the competitive game. I'll be honest, if I was reading this 5 years ago, 6 years ago, before I got into the playing side of things, then I probably wouldn't want to play. I mean, there was at a time where 6 years ago, I didn't want to play. I always thought it was a bit of an elite community. It's not at all. It's very different. But I think the book does give that sort of aura off. So don't be scared of the playing community. The collecting community comes across really well. The stadium bills and all that. But the players, the elite players or the pro players, if you like, don't come across massively well. But that's my only negative, I think. There's a bit in there that talks about clubs. It talks about the casual club. He goes to Stourbridge, casual Subbuteo club. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it right now. This isn't anything to do with the book or anything like that. Casual Subbuteo club. I coined that phrase. An arrogant moment, but I'm saying it. I generally think I coined that phrase with Raz, the casual Subbuteo club, or Raz Casual Subbuteo club, whatever we decided to call ourselves. Casual Subbuteo. I'm staking a claim to it, but you can all use it for free and you can all slag me off in the comments for being arrogant. But that's that. Talking about clubs, there is a bit in here where Derek goes to the Solent club, absolutely fantastic club, and it talks about how Subbuteo has really helped some of the guys with their mental health, and that is one of the best bits in here. Men's mental health doesn't get spoken about enough. Get yourself to a Subbuteo club or any club. People talk, go, get out your comfort zone, go meet new people. That will help you. That's a really good section of this book, and just how Subbuteo has helped many a person sort their head out, honestly. Fantastic stuff. There's a great interview in this book with Enrico from Astro Base. A lot of people know him. I've never bought anything from him or discussed it with him, so that was good to read. And then as I continue reading it, there is a real obsession with Derek and competitive play. He hates that people are getting thumped 10-0, 15-0 and stuff like that. I can understand it. No one wants to get beaten that much. But that's the competitive game. If you go into an elite competition, whether it's football, darts, or we're not going to go there with the bagpipes, Derek, I'll be honest, I skipped them paragraphs. Competitive bagpipes. Not for me. I can't stand a bagpipe at the best of times, let alone if it's competitively. But whatever you're being competitive in, there are times, if you're new to it, you're going to get trounced by a better player. It's going to happen. But Derek, I really don't like it happening. But it's going to happen. It is degrading, but you take it with a pinch of salt and how you do it. If you handle yourself well and the players right around you, you'll be okay. But Derek has this real obsession with not liking people get beat too much. He wants to revolutionise the way we play and the organisations and stuff like that. Comes across in there a little bit too much. I just didn't want to read that at the end of the day. Not because I disagree with it or agree with it. I just wanted to read about people and about our community, you know what I mean? On the competitive side, there is a nice little interview in there with some people that show the politics that are involved in the competitive game. Wow, way too many of them. So it's right that it gets spoke about in there. But what that will do is make anyone from outside the community who's reading this absolutely piss themselves laughing at the fact that we are getting that obsessed with playing with figures. Honestly, you'd think it was FIFA World Cup or something like that. We're playing with toys. But people are that competitive in everything they do. And then it moves on to the people that talk about the social media. Oh, sorry. and calls us influencers. I'm not an influencer because I don't want to influence people. I don't see myself an influencer, but I think in this day and age to be called something like that is an honour. So Derek, thank you very much. He talks to all four of us from the Netflix show. Little link, I'll chuck that around so you can go visit it because we had great fun doing that. And he asks us all the question, if we would do it again. We all said yes. Apart from Watsy, Lawrence, calling you out. Come on, man. We all want to get back together, but I do understand your reasons. Watsy, man, I love you. Hope you're going to be at the World Cup because that is my aim. Then to try and persuade you to one more episode. It's a good chat with Mike Bradley, who does the foreword for the book. Good interview with him. That's nice little chinwag. And they are the standout points from this book. If you're within the Subbuteo community and you're thinking that, you're going to think, oh yeah, I want to read that. You'll be like me. You'll want to read anything to do with Subbuteo. Look at that artwork, by the way. I'm going back to that because that is cool. Land of the Giants based off the film. I like it. It's really cool. But if you're not from the Subbuteo community and you're looking for something to read and you want to know about a strange little world where grown men and women play with toys on a competitive level and collect toys to an obsessive amount, much like me and others, then yeah, this is a good book. It's a good read. It's very insightful. Derek, absolutely fantastic. Well done on putting a book together on Subbuteo. I really hope you're well. I hope you're recovering well still. Everyone, head over to Amazon, buy that. Derek, when I see you, I hope that'll be at the World Cup. We've got a nice blank space there. You're signing that for me. Well done. Any Subbuteo stuff in the world is great, whether it's books, podcasts, videos, all of it out there. Out of 10, I can never get a 10 out of 10. So if I give something a 9, that's the best you're ever going to get. But I'm not going to give it a 9. Nothing gets 10 out of 10. Give it a 7.5, just because it's a bit critical of the competitive edge, and Derek does like to try and control that, but the interviews in it are absolutely fantastic. And I actually hope, and here's what I'd like to see, Derek, this isn't necessarily for you, this is for Pitch Publishing. This was Derek's story into Subbuteo. I challenge you, Pitch Publishing, to go out and get other people from the Subbuteo and make this into a series. So go out and talk to just a collector and get them to write a book about their experiences. Get just a player to write about just their experiences. Get a painter to write just about their Subbuteo experiences. They can touch on the playing and this, but Subbuteo from their world. Derek was very much an all-arounder. He'd done a bit of collecting, he'd done a bit of painting, he'd done a bit of playing. That's an all-round opinion. Let's get someone who's a dedicated player to have opinions on collectors. Let's get collectors to have opinions on players. Stadium builders on painters and so on and so on. That'd be good. So Pitch Publishing, there could be a series in this. In fact, Derek, I can see a sequel to this, mate. There's a lot of people, you say it yourself at the end, there's a lot of people that you didn't get a chance to interview. It's time to get out there, mate. It's time to get them train tickets bought. Get out there. Get interviewing. Start at the World Cup. Oh, I've never done a proper book review before, so that was a bit of a weird one for me, but I hope you enjoyed the video. Coming back, going to be unboxing again soon. In fact, what I've unboxed is recorded, but I had to get this one out first. This has taken me too long to record. So we'll be back unboxing some Subbuteo. We'll be back doing our thing. I can't wait. Sorry I don't get content out as much as I'd like to. I'm always trying, but life is busy, which is why it took me so long to read that. But you know I'm here, and I'll keep on coming. Go through the back catalogue. Like, share, subscribe, do all that stuff. Go buy Derek's book. It's on Amazon now, Land of the Giants. And as always, keep on flicking.